Eyre, Chapter 27, Part 2. Now for the hitch in Jane's character, he said at last, speaking more calmly than from his look I had expected him to speak. The reel of silk has run smoothly enough so far, but I always knew there would come a knot and a puzzle. Here it is. Now for vexation and exasperation and endless trouble. By God, I long to exert a fraction of Samson's strength and break the entanglements like tow. He recommenced his walk, but soon again stopped, and this time just before me. Jane, will you hear reason? He stopped and approached his lips to my ear. Because if you won't, I'll try violence. His voice was hoarse, his look that of a man who is just about to burst an insufferable bond and plunge headlong into wild license. I saw that in another moment, and with one impetus of frenzy more, I should be able to do nothing with him. The present, the passing second of time, was all I had in which to control and restrain him. A movement of repulsion, flight, fear would have sealed my doom, and his. But I was not afraid, not in the least. I felt an inward power, a sense of influence which supported me. The crisis was perilous, but not without its charm, such as the Indian perhaps feels when he slips over the rapid in his canoe. I took hold of his clenched hand, loosened the contoured fingers, and said to him soothingly, "Sit down. I'll talk to you as long as you like, and hear all you have to say, whether reasonable or unreasonable." He sat down. He did not get to leave to speak directly. I had been struggling with tears for some time. I had taken great pains to repress them, because I knew he would not like to see me weep. Now, however, I considered it well to let them flow as freely and as long as they liked. If the flood annoyed him, so much the better. So I gave way and cried heartily. Soon I heard him earnestly entreating me to be composed. I said I could not while he was in such a passion. "But I am not angry, Jane. I only love you too well, and you had steeled your little pale face with such a resolute frozen look. I could not endure it. Hush now, and wipe your eyes." His softened voice announced that he was subdued, so I, in my turn, became calm. But he made an effort to rest his head on my shoulder. But I would not permit it. He would not draw me to him, no. "Jane, Jane," he said in such an accent of bitter sadness it thrilled along every nerve I had. "You don't love me, then? It was only my station and the rank of my wife that you valued? Now that you think me disqualified to become your husband, you recoil from my touch as if I were some toad or ape?" These words cut me. Yet what could I do or say? I ought probably to have done or said nothing, but I was so tortured by a sense of remorse as thus hurting his feelings, I could not control his wish to drop balm where I was wounded. "I do love you," I said, "more than ever. But I must not show or indulge the feeling, and this is the last time I must express it." "The last time, Jane? What? Do you think you can live without me and see me daily, and yet, if you still love me, be always cold and distant?" "No, sir, that I am certain I could not, and therefore I see there is but one way. But you will be furious if I mention it." "Oh, mention it! If I storm, you have the art of weeping." "Mr. Rochester, I must leave you." "For how long, Jane? For a few minutes, while you smooth your hair, which is somewhat disheveled, and bathe your face, which looks feverish?" "I must leave Adele and Thornfield. I must part with you for my whole life. I must begin a new existence amongst strange faces and strange scenes." "Of course, I told you you should. I pass over the madness about parting from me. You mean you must become a part of me. As to the new existence, it is all right. You shall yet be my wife. I am not married. You shall be Mrs. Rochester, both virtually and nominally. I shall keep only to you so long as you and I live. You shall go to a place I have in the south of France, a whitewashed villa on the shores of the Mediterranean. There you shall live a happy and guarded and most innocent life. Never fear that I wish to lure you into error to make you my mistress. Why do you shake your head? Jane, you must be reasonable, or in truth I shall again become frantic." His voice and hand quivered, his large nostrils dilated, his eye blazed. Still I dared to speak. "Sir, your wife is living. That is a fact acknowledged this morning by yourself. If I lived with you as you desire, I should then be your mistress. To say otherwise is sophistical. It is fake. Jane, I am not a gentle-tempered man. You forget that. I am not long enduring. I am not cool and dispassionate. Out of pity to me and yourself, put your finger on my pulse. Feel how it throbs, and beware." He bared his wrist and offered it to me. The blood was forsaking his cheek and lips. They were growing livid. I was distressed on all hands. To agitate him thus deeply by a resistance he so abhorred was cruel. To yield was out of the question. I did what human beings do instinctively when they are driven to utter extremity. Looked for aid that one higher than man. The words, God help me, burst involuntarily from my lips. I am a fool, cried Mr. Rochester suddenly. I keep telling her I am not married, and I do not explain to her why. I forget she knows nothing of the character of that woman or of the circumstances attending my infernal union with her. Why, I am certain Jane will agree with me in opinion when she knows all that I know. Just put your hand in mine, Janet, that I may have that evidence of touch, or well as sight, to prove you are near me, and I will, in a few words, show you the real state of the case. Can you listen to me? Yes, sir, for hours, if you will. I only ask minutes. Jane, did you ever hear or know that I was not the oldest of my house, that I had once a brother older than I? I remember Mrs. Fairfax told me so once. And did you ever hear that my father was an avaricious, grasping man? I have understood something to that effect. Well, Jane, being so, it was resolution to keep the property together. He could not bear the idea of dividing his estate and leaving me a fair portion. All he resolved should go to my brother, Roland. Yet as little as could be endured that a son of his should be a poor man. I must be provided for by a wealthy marriage. He sought me a partner betimes. Mr. Marson, a West Indian planter and merchant, was his old acquaintance. He was certain his possessions were real and vast. He made inquiries. Mr. Marson, he found, had a son and daughter, and he learned from him that he could and would give a latter a fortune of £30,000. That sufficed. When I left college, I was sent out to Jamaica to espouse a bride already courted for me. My father said nothing about her money, but he told me Miss Marson was the boast of Spanish Town for her beauty, and this was no lie. I found her a fine woman in the style of Blanche Ingram, tall, dark, majestic. Her family wished to secure me because I was of a good race, and so did she. They showed her to me in parties, splendidly dressed. I seldom saw her alone, and had very little private conversation with her. She flattered me, and lavishly displayed for my pleasure her charms and accomplishments. All the men in her circle seemed to admire her and envy me. I was dazzled, stimulated. My senses were excited, and being ignorant, raw, and inexperienced, I thought I loved her. There is no folly so besotted that the idiotic rivalries of society, the prurience, the rashness, the blindness of youth will not hurry a man to its commission. Her relatives encouraged me. Competitors piqued me. She allured me. A marriage was achieved almost before I knew where I was. Oh, I have no respect for myself when I think of that act. An agony of inward contempt masters me. I never loved. I never esteemed. I did not even know her. I was not sure of existence of one virtue in her nature. I have marked neither modesty nor benevolence, nor candor nor refinement in her mind or manners, and I married her. Gross, groveling, mole-eyed blockhead that I was. With less sin I might have, but let me remember to whom I am speaking. My bride's mother I had never seen. I understood she was dead. The honeymoon over, I learned by mistake. She was only mad and shut up in a lunatic asylum. There was a younger brother, too, a complete dumb idiot, the elder one whom you have seen, and whom I cannot hate, whilst I abhor all his kindred, because he has some grains of affection in his feeble mind, shown in continued interest he takes in his wretched sister, and also in a dog-like attachment he once bore for me, and probably be in the same state one day. My father and brother Roland knew all this, but they thought only of the £30,000, and joined in on the plot against me. These were vile discoveries, but except for the treachery of concealment, I should have made them no subject of reproach to my wife. Even when I found her nature wholly alien to mine, her tastes obnoxious to mine, her cast of mind common, low, narrow, and singularly incapable of being led to anything higher, expanded to anything larger, when I found that I could not pass a single evening nor a single hour of the day with her in comfort, that kindly conversation could not be sustained between us, because whatever topic I started immediately received from her a turn at once coarse and trite, perverse and imbecile. When I perceived that I should never have a quiet or settled household, because no servant would bear the continued outbreaks of her violent and unreasonable temper, or the vexations of her absurd, contradictory, exacting orders, even when I restrained myself. I eschewed upbraiding, I curtailed remonstrance, I tried to devour my repentance and disgust in secret, I repressed the deep antipathy I felt. Jane, I will not trouble you with the abominable details. Some strong words shall express what I have to say. I lived with that woman upstairs 4 years. Before that time she had tried me indeed. Her character ripened and developed with frightful rapidity. Her vices sprang up fast and rank. They were so strong only cruelty could check them, and I would not use cruelty. What a pygmy intellect she had, and what giant propensities. How fearful were the curses those propensities entailed on me. Bertha Marson, the true daughter of an infamous mother, dragged me through all the hideous and degrading agonies which must attend a man bound to a wife at once intemperate and unchaste. My brother in the interval was dead, and at the end of the 4 years my father died too. I was rich enough now, yet poor to hideous indigence. A nature the most gross, impure, depraved I ever saw was associated with mine, and called by the law and by society a part of me. And I could not rid myself of it by any legal proceedings, for the doctors now discovered that my wife was mad. Her excesses have prematurely developed the germs of insanity. Jane, you don't like my narratives. You look almost sick. Shall I defer the rest to another day? No, sir, finish it now. I pity you. I do earnestly pity you. Pity, Jane, for some people, is a noxious and insulting sort of tribute, which one is justified in hurling back in its teeth of those who offer it. That is a sort of pity natives to callous, selfish hearts. It is a hybrid, egotistical pain at hearing of woes crossed with ignorant contempt for those who have endured them. That is not your pity, Jane. It is not the feeling of which your whole face is full of at the moment, with which your eyes are now almost overflowing, with whom your heart is heaving, with which your hand is trembling in mine. Your pity, my darling, is the suffering mother of love. Its anguish is the very natal pangs of the divine passion. I accept it, Jane. Let the daughter have free advent. My arms wait to receive her.